So let's move on to traffic, starting with search queries. So this is probably my favorite report and probably the most useful for SEOs. What this is showing us is all the different search queries where our site showed up and the average position. Now, what I recommend you do here So this is pretty interesting. You can see which sites are linking to you a lot. If you have a site that's linking to you often, that's obviously a good relationship that you're going to want to work on. This is somebody you're going to want to keep in touch with and thank them for those links. Most linked content, this is great too because it tells you what pages on your site are getting the most attention from other bloggers, news sources, etc. So it's a really, really great way to look and see your most linked content. Also, if you see something in here that you wish was ranking better, you can see, well, I don't have a lot of links. I need to work on building more links to that page to get it closer to the top. Now, each of these you can click more and see a more detailed report. And as you can see, there's a lot of information in here. Most linked content. Gunpowder tea, jasmine green tea, and so on. So this is looking pretty good. So the next is internal links. This shows what pages are linked to the most from your own site. So just as with building links from external sources, if you have a page that you want to have ranking, linking to it internally is very important because you're essentially telling Google, this page on our site is incredibly important, so we're going to link to it a lot because we want people to see it as much as possible. So this is a fairly new one. This is for Google+, Google's social network that's very similar to Facebook. There's not a lot of information in here at the moment, but if you are very active on Google+, you can learn about your activity, your search impact, how many people are finding you on Google+ and clicking it. So it's a cool integration. Indexed. And you can see there's a pretty decent discrepancy here. So this tells me there's a lot of pages that we're telling Google to come and see and put in their index, and they're essentially saying no. The reasons why we can't learn about, but what we can find is maybe some of the URLs in this sitemap are 404ing. So the first thing I would want to do is go and clean up my 404 errors and clean up my sitemap. Maybe all of those pages that aren't being indexed are simply not there. But it's a really, really good indicator to see how we're doing here. And of course, we want to try to get this as close to even as possible. The next setting is remove URLs. When we talked about the robots.txt in another video, where we're saying we don't want Google to know about these URLs, if for some reason Google found something we don't want them to have, you can create a new removal request and you just paste the URL in there, click remove, and it normally takes a couple of weeks, but they will remove that URL from their index. HTML improvements. This is another incredibly useful feature inside of Webmaster Tools for doing SEO. As you can see here, it's showing us a lot of duplicate issues like duplicate meta descriptions. 81 pages on tfrog.com have duplicate meta descriptions, and obviously that's very bad. So what we can do is click this and look at all the different pages that for SEO, I definitely recommend installing this if you haven't already. Get your site verified and start looking through your data. You might find some really interesting things in here that you wouldn't otherwise have found. Lots of different errors, dead links, 404s, things like that. So get in here, clean up as much as you can, and it will definitely help your search engine optimization.